Welcome back. As I mentioned, we have Lenny Ross here, who's going to give us an update from the United Mutual board meeting. Well, welcome. Nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too.
We were just thinking that we had such beautiful rain and it makes everything so green, but we're ready for it to be over, right?
Oh yeah. But we need the water.
We do need the water, so hopefully it'll be very interesting to see how much of a dent it does make in our water supply. All right, so you had a big meeting last week and lots of things to cover, so I'm just going to have you jump right in.
Okay, so several things. We had our board meeting last week, but we also had a town hall last Friday, and I'll go into some of the major things that came up in our board meeting. One of the things that came up was the current anti-harassment policy, which was combined with GRF, and United decided to vote against the policy. And the main reason was that we do need to have an anti-harassment policy, but because Third, in their decision, they voted to go on their own and have their own policy, their own anti-harassment policy.
All right.
And United decided that because Third represents half the population of the community, we decided to go the same route and not have a shared policy with GRF, but have our own policy.
Okay.
And that's essentially the reason that we voted against it. We know that there's a real need to have a policy for anti-harassment to protect our employees and our directors and our residents and from harassment. And so we will have a policy. It will probably be just United's policy going forward.
Okay, so then United will have their own, as well as the other boards are going to do their own thing. Right. So is there anything different in your policy that differs from the others, or is it eventually about the same?
Pretty much the same.
Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty much the same. And VMS, which is in charge of the employees, they have their own policy as well.
Right. Right.
And so I think that's the direction that we're going to move, in the same direction that all the other mutuals have moved.
Well, and I suppose that if you have your own, then it's easier to change and modify going forward rather than having everybody else have a consortium.
That's exactly right.
Okay, all right, makes a lot of sense. All right, perfect. What else?
And then the other thing is we do listen to residents. Our board of directors do hear your complaints and your concerns. And one of the things that we have acted on is an issue regarding lighting in our community. And the feeling in many of our cul-de-sacs is that the available lighting is insufficient to protect our residents at night. Some of our cul-de-sacs do a very good job with lighting, some do not.
Right.
Some are very dark. So what we've come up with is, and that we're announcing at our town hall, and we announced at our board meeting, is that there is budget for this year for lighting to supplement the current lighting in our cul-de-sacs. And secondly, is that there's a very simple form to fill out. It's a one-page application.
Okay.
It's called Walkway Lighting Request Form.
Okay.
And I've got a copy of it right here.
Okay, and where can they get that?
And they can get that at the membership services, contacting them, or contacting the executive CEO directly, her CEO office. She would be glad to provide a copy of this. And so it needs to be filled out, completed, and then sent, and the boards will review it with staff. And if the feeling is that the lighting is needed, it will be added this year. And so I think this is an important answer to a lot of residents' concerns, because the lighting is very bad in some areas, causes safety hazards. People trip and fall, and it's not safe. So this we feel could help in our community.
Now, is the majority of the lighting in the area more like a yellowy colored lighting and not more of a white color?
Yeah, it is.
And I assume that originally when you put things in, you don't want it to be too bright, because then you have so much brightness that directs outward.
Right.
However, when you take into consideration folks who may have trouble seeing, that's kind of a tough balance.
Yeah. Well, we did a walkway lighting program about 3 or 4 years ago, and that program has fluorescent lights in our community, But the feeling is that that's insufficient to take care of many of the darker areas in our cul-de-sacs. And so this would act to supplement those lights.
All right.
So hopefully that'll help.
Perfect.
Yeah. And the other area is, and this came actually, a resident of United sent us a letter a couple months ago, and he was concerned about the area on El Toro that's south of Gate 1 going to the shopping center. And in his area where he lives, in that area, he and other residents were concerned that people walking along El Toro could hop the wall, could get into our community illegally, and could cause problems. And so he had requested, he had sent us a detailed letter, and thanks to him, we've made some changes. One of the things we've done is we've installed cameras on El Toro to take a look at the activity in that area. And we found that there was nothing illegal going on or minimal illegal action. But in addition to that, he had requested the Shepherd's Crook project to be completed in that area. And we had planned to complete that over the next 3 years. But because of his letter, we decided to expedite the process and complete it this year.
Oh, okay.
And so the Shepherd's Crook, for those of you who don't know, is adding additional metal on top of the existing wall.
Yeah.
And it looks like a bent metal. I have a hard time explaining it, but if you saw pictures of it, you would know.
Like a candy cane type thing.
Yeah. And so we're going to extend that program and finish that project in that area to, in answer to his request and other neighbors in his request this year.
Yeah.
And so that should help alleviate some of the concerns in that area.
Well, that makes sense. And you know what? I think it's something that our security has always mentioned, see something, say something, even if even though they may not think it's something, right? Because look what that did, is it made a difference in the protection of the community.
Right,
So.
and we encourage people to come to our meetings, send letters to me and other board members, because we do respond. And this is an example of how we did respond.
Great.
So,
good. And then I know you mentioned the town hall. I'm jumping ahead.
Yeah,
Am I jumping ahead, or do you have anything else?
No, that's good.
Okay, perfect.
The other thing was the town hall, which the major subject was HO6 insurance. And why is that important for our residents? Well, HO6 insurance protects our residents in case of they've added a lot of upgrades in their manners.
Right.
And many of them have. And if you have significant upgrades in your manor and there's a water leak from a pipe, and the association will fix and repair the water leak, they'll repair the walls, but anything that's upgraded, like the flooring or the tile or the counters or the appliances, if those are upgraded, they won't repair or replace those.
Right.
And so that could represent, tens of thousands of dollars in exposure.
Right.
So to protect the residents, we recommend that you contact your insurance agent, and if you don't already have it, you should consider getting an HO6 insurance policy just to protect you in case that should happen.
You can almost look at it as an upgrade policy.
That's right.
So anything that has been upgraded since you originally purchased it, you need to have an upgrade policy, because you always refer to it HO6, but then you think about what it covers, and it really just covers that. So I was going to ask you if that's a supplement on top of what is already provided. So
yeah, a lot of people have renter's policy, and renter's policy will just cover your contents. But if you've upgraded those contents, and it won't protect you, it won't protect those particular items, but it will protect your content, your clothing, your
computers,
valuables, those things.
Yeah.
But it won't protect your flooring and your upgraded tile and those things, which are the more expensive items.
Exactly. Well, and then also renter's insurance has a maximum amount of dollars too that you could, and obviously it wouldn't even come close to covering many of those appliances and certainly the flooring for sure.
Right.
So good stuff. And you guys had, was it farmer's insurance?
Yeah, it was actually State Farm.
Or State Farm. Yeah. Okay, State Farm. Okay, good. And so out of that meeting, you know, you're having a Zoom meeting, I think it was today.
Oh, right.
And that is through which insurance company?
That's USI, and that's a different form of insurance.
Oh, that's totally different, okay.
But that is insurance, and as you know, property insurance has increased a lot.
Yeah.
And 4 years ago, United paid about $700,000 a year for property insurance. This last year, it was $4 million. And so it's increased a lot. And we're going to be meeting with a new insurance company that believes they can save us money for property insurance. We're going to be having a Zoom meeting later today to talk about that. The presidents and other board members are going to be meeting with them.
But is that the same property insurance that you referred to if there was a leak?
No, that's
it's
different.
Totally different.
This is for fire protection.
For fire protection.
Yeah,
okay, good.
Yeah,
all right.
Because fires have been out of control in California and have increased the cost of our property insurance. And this is to try to control that. And this is finding another source that may be able to save us some money.
Yeah, and plus zoning is changing a little bit too. And it's unfortunate because there are people who bought here and many areas that weren't fire zones to begin with, and then all of it, now they've become fire zones.
That's
so
right.
it's kind of an ongoing process.
It
so
is.
All right, excellent. And you said that Zoom meeting is today. So when will you have more information about that?
Well, for sure, by our next board meeting, we'll have more information.
Okay.
So again, welcome to our board meetings. And in addition, there's one other thing I wanted to mention, is that in March, a couple months from now, we're going to start our budget process for 2024.
I bet you can't wait.
It's a long process, but and those meetings are open to our members.
Right.
So we encourage you to come to those meetings because everyone cares about assessments.
Yeah.
And everyone wants to control those. And so help us do that by coming to those meetings.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate all of the information. Good luck to you in this year, and especially in the budget process.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
If you want more information, especially about the application for lighting, you can always send an email to generalmanager@vmsinc.org, and they will direct it to the appropriate person. We'll be right back.